copies of the book, but everybody gonna need to get their own copy of the book. I'm gonna go talk to Cap Water dude. Devin, could you do an icebreaker for me?
Yes, sir.
And see what we can move from there.
All right. Since we're still learning everybody's names, as we go through this process, the goal is to also be able to know who you are going through this with. So I need you to stand up when it's your turn. Gigi. Your first and last name, where you go to school if you're in school, and what you are hoping to learn today, or what you want to get out of today.
Anybody can go?
Who's my leader? Step up.
My name is Willie Penton. I go to Brookhaven. And what I want to learn today is something that makes my mind to keep going and makes me think of it.
I'll show you. Which direction we go last time? Counterclockwise or clockwise? Which way we going with?
Point. Look, which way you going?
Okay. All right.
My name is Morgan Pinson. I go to Midland Middle School, and I'm hoping to learn something that keeps my mind thinking. I don't really go to school right now. Neither do I. I just can't because I'm a baby.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah. Keyshawn and...
I can't hear you over here. Because I know you talked louder when you had the incident with... Thank you.
I'm Keyshawn Pinel, and I learn...
Where you go to school?
Memorial. Things like that.
And you want to learn what?
Well, learn anything. Anything.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Elijah, and I go to Millennium Community School.
That's here.
You know.
Please, it's not your turn.
I don't know what I'm going to learn.
My name is Cleveland Brown. I go to school here in
Where is here?
Millennium Community School.
Okay, because I didn't know you might go to a school called here.
I don't even know what I'm going to learn today.
He asked you what you want to learn, not what you're going to learn. You have to be psychic to know that.
I don't know what I want to learn.
My name is Layla Harris. I go to Millennium, and I really don't know what I'm going to learn.
My name is Jennifer Adams, and I want to learn all about you guys today.
My name is Deshaun Wells. I go to Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic School, and I don't know what I want to learn.
My name is Jamal Matthews. I go to Grove High School, and I want to learn the curriculum y'all want to teach today.
My name is Shamika Phillips. I'm in school because school life is a lifelong learning process, so you're going to always stay in school. What I want to learn is what unifies us now in this place and this time.
My name is Asaru. I'm a college student at Franklin University, and I want to learn something new from everybody in this room.
My name is Brother Hatem, and I can't wait to see what y'all have to share with me. It's It's a process. So we about to get hot up in here. But
Just woke your daughter back
I
up.
say.
You just woke her back up. She was asleep.
Look, yes. Hi, my name is Diane Gaines. And I'm not in school, but what I would like to learn is more about the organization, and I'm just glad to be here, just to take part.
we got some more people coming in. To the center, all right?
It's like church.
And the reason I got the table all the way over, because I got an extension cord. So I'm too cheap to go buy one. But I want to make sure that y'all know that this is being taped. And this is why. Because I want, one, when y'all talking to your friends, you say, well, I want you to be part of this. Well, what y'all do there? Well, this is some of the stuff we learned. You give them the web address, and they'll be able to go and listen. And then some of y'all that might want to review some of the stuff, or you heard something funny, or somebody said something that inspired you, or something that even made you angry. I want you to be able to have records so that you could go back and be able to look at the stuff that we was going over. And some of you that's taking it serious and trying to take notes, if you miss something because you might have been talking or something else happened, you could be able to go back on the CD or on the MP3 and get everything. All right, now, the Cap What It Do said he has nowhere to go. So, we cool. Now, let me stress, ladies and gentlemen, when you are in Capoeira, take it seriously. Because in Capoeira, there's a tradition, and they call it a batizado. Anybody heard of batizado?
As a matter of fact, everybody repeat that to him. Batizado.
A batizado is a baptism in Capoeira. What's a baptism? Anybody heard of baptism?
Yeah.
What's a baptism? What happens in a baptism?
Go under the water.
Huh?
Go under the water.
You go under the water. But is it any water in the gym when you playing? Alright, so what water are they talking about when they call it a batizado?
You have to battle him.
Huh?
Probably gonna have to battle him or something.
You gonna battle somebody, yeah, you going under. Believe me. Listen, there's some people that because this is the piece that I want y'all to get. We're trying to get this generation. We want y'all to move towards mastery. There's people that are so good at what they do that when you try to compete with them and doing it, they pick you apart so easily it's ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I'm a cartoon fan, right? I was watching Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, right? And Batman ran into this gang called the Mutants. And the first time he ran into these mutants, he tried to fight this young boy because this is an older Batman. Batman about 65 years old. He kind of fat. He's squeezing into the bat outfit, and he jumps out the Batmobile, and he tries to fight this young boy. And this young boy whooped him bad, right? Because he tried to fight the young boy like the young boy. So Batman just barely escaped with his life. So he came back, and he set up another fight with this dude because the only way he was going to be able to beat this gang was, in a sense, to take the gang over. So Batman sneak up behind this dude and throws him. It's the ghost.
Sorry about that.
So Batman sneaks up behind this dude and kicks him into a mud pit, right? And start whooping this young boy. Because he figured out, hey, I can't fight a young boy like I'm a young boy. I'm 65 years old. So he fighting this dude. And this dude not understanding what's going on. So Batman said these words to him. He said, listen, young blood. He said, this is not a mud pit. The boy said, why you got me in this mud pit? Batman said, this is not a mud pit. This is a surgery table. And I'm the surgeon. And you my patient. And he broke his arm. Then he broke his leg. Then he broke his nose. Then he drug him out the mud.
This is a cartoon.
Huh? This is a cartoon. Oh, Batman, seriously. But the point that I'm trying to get you to is this. There are some people that are so good at what they do. So good that they become, it's what you call mastery. Another example. I had a friend. Her father, this is a story she told me. Her father went blind. But he was a a man that built things. He built fireplaces. So after he went blind, everybody thought his career was over, right? Because, of course, you working with bricks, you working with your hands, you can't do nothing, right? He would have people walk him into the fireplace. He would feel the brick. He would know the measurements. He'd feel the brick. He'd use his hands. He'd tell him exactly what he needs. And he built the fireplace without even being able to see. That's mastery. And this is where we want to push y'all. We want to motivate y'all. We want to give y'all a lure to mastery so that you can get example and see because I know if we give you just a little sample of what mastery looks like, you're going to strive for it in your life. And something that you love. Where you become so good that you don't got to chase money, money comes to you. You don't have to chase happiness because happiness comes to you because you become a master. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to run through this chapter, then I'm going to take y'all down to Capoeira. Take Capoeira seriously because all of you will have to go to a Batuzado. And all y'all going to have to play me. And all y'all going to have to play the brother that run the school that is generously allowing us to be taught by them. So if you don't take it seriously and you go into the hole of playing, you go into the hole of acting silly, you go into the hole of and disrespect the traditions, I can't protect you. Because there's some people that take that very seriously. So when you over there and he teach you the basics, learn the basics. When he teach you the Jenga, learn the Jenga. When he teaching you the duck, what should you do? Duck. All right? Don't try to block. Especially when they bring their mastery down here, because what's going to happen at the Batuzado, they'll bring a mastery down. If the mastery come and you try to block the mastery's kick, it's all bad. We talking about people that kick trees. We talking about people that, so go ahead and throw your arm up there if you want to. Now you better execute your move. You better go back to your basics. So now I'm going to pass it out. Anybody got the book? All right, well, here. Share those. Pass them out. Share them. And today, man, listen. We got the physical fitness test. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. The physical fitness test. What does it What does it have? We have push-ups, sit-ups, mile run, and the power exercise, which is probably the hardest one. I'm gonna see how long you can be able to sit and do absolutely nothing.
What?
Before you go crazy. That's the power test. Where you're going to sit and do absolutely nothing.
That'll be hard. For how long?
I don't know. How long will you do it? At the end of this process, everybody in this room will be able to sit in what people call meditation for at least 30 minutes. I'm going to work y'all through a process where you are going to be able to sit still for 30 minutes. I know some of y'all like, not me. Nah, I ain't never been able to sit still. But I'm telling you, you're going to be able to do it. All right. So, anybody want to read the first? Huh? What your paper? Go ahead. Get back, please. Yep. Read the one. We're going to read the picture. Oh, here go one. Here go one, baby. All right, for those that's listening, because we got people listening. Oh, grown folks with cameras. Get them out. We making history. No, somebody already read. He going to read. We're reading from Hip Hop Decoded by Black Dot. We on chapter 3. Put them on. Go ahead.
Food illustrator. That part on the left represents an organic food source, which is that we are accustomed to eating in our natural state. Organic foods contain coded information that enables us to interface with nature. It is also how the Supreme Creator communicates directly with us. The devil on the right represents a genetically altered food, which is what most of our subject to today. These genetically altered foods cut us off from the Earth's natural vibration and send mixed signals to our brain, leaving us confused and unable to communicate with the supreme higher self. They also poison the body.
So right there, we're talking about the picture. And what somebody break down in plain language, in plain English, what are they talking about? What is he talking about? He got a picture of a body, dude holding an apple in one hand, he got another apple in the other hand. What is he talking about?
Some food is poisonous to your body.
Huh?
Some food is poisonous to your body.
Explain. What you mean? You mean I thought all food was good?
Not all food.
What?
Like McDonald's. If you
McDonald's?
eat too much
What?
of it,
McDonald's ain't good for you?
no.
Dog, are you serious?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But it tastes good though, right?
Yeah. You eat it too much, it can kill you.
McDonald's? How about Burger King?
Yes.
What? Churches?
Yes.
Even worse.
You agree with him? For real?
Not on Tuesday.
So now on Tuesday, that it got to be a good day. So all right, cool. So what's home? What is Black Dot talking about with the food? Huh?
Organic food, the ones that don't need to be processed, like growing your own apple or growing your own something that's not processed, that they didn't touch, that they can't poison.
I got a question. Brothers my age, we call ourselves nation builders, right? Sisters my age, we call ourselves nation builders. Can you have a nation if you don't control your own food source?
I mean, you can try.
For real?
You can try, but if like the government wants to shut down food, then you don't have it. You starving.
Can you have a community if you don't control your food?
It's not yours.
Huh?
I mean, you can't own the community.
You can? You can't. Without food. Without being able to control the food. So if somebody outside of you is controlling the food, then in a sense they control you. How many of y'all thinking about going to college and learning about farming? Name one thing that's more important in your life than food. Go ahead.
Video games.
Video games.
Wow.
I mean, being honest, go ahead. Water? Okay. Okay. Oxygen? Okay.
Religion.
Who?
Religion.
Religion? More important than food? You can't pray if you're hungry. Wow, well, I guess you could. You could pray if you're hungry. Matter of fact, that might inspire a lot more prayer.
Hey, real good.
Go ahead.
Community.
Community? You know what I'm saying? Food is necessary, but none of us are thinking about food. We're not thinking about, in our careers, we're not even thinking about food. But Homeboy is breaking down, he's talking about what some food does to us. What's the difference between something that's organic and something that's inorganic? Go ahead.
Something that's organic is grown, and something that's not organic is like processed in the factory or something.
Processed in the factory. All right, I got a question. Y'all McDonald's experts. What is chicken McNuggets made out of?
Chicken.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure?
Man, actual chicken.
No, it's not.
For real?
Yes.
Is it?
No, it's like this pink
white
goop stuff.
Yeah.
It's all the excess
Mom
from
showed
the
us a
chicken.
video
It's like a
of
mixture
them
of
dumping
meat.
dead animals into this little grinder and they just grind it up. And she said they put that in.
They grind it up.
It's clone meat.
So now I got a question. If I want to enslave you, if I want to dumb you down, if I want to do you harm, what better place for me to start than with your food?
Start. Wait, no. Yeah.
What, you gonna say video games again? What better place to start than the food?
Your head.
Huh?
Like
your who?
Your head.
Your head?
Who said your head?
Your head. Oh, your mind, your thoughts.
You gotta break down the mind to rebuild it.
Okay. All right. So cool. Somebody else. What did you take away from what he said about the food? Black Dot. Don't be shy. Go ahead.
That if you have processed food, that you can't communicate with your higher being.
If you got processed food, you can't communicate with your higher being. What is the higher being?
Yourself.
Huh? Yourself?
Yeah.
If we had time during the second part of the session, we're gonna go back and talk about the self. Because I really need to make sure y'all understand what you mean when you say self. I need to be clear and understand and know that you know what you mean when you say self. All right. So it's saying that you can't communicate with your higher being, with the higher part of yourself, because of your diet. Does that sound real? Why you say no?
Because I could communicate with the higher part of myself without.
I wish I could communicate with that.
You say who?
I could communicate with the higher part of myself without eating organic food. I don't know how you can. I don't understand it.
People still.
All right, now check it out. He said something about vibration. See, because I want y'all to start picking up these words. Y'all need to really start writing these words down. He said vibration. He said something about connecting to the earth, right? So now, if us, go ahead. You got your hand up.
Oh, yeah. Like, when the food is altered, like cloned or whatever, it takes away its natural essence. It's like trying to clone a human, like trying to remake something that's already there. It takes away the healthiness. You're just eating something that tastes like it, but it don't give you the same nutrition that it does.
It don't give you the same nutrition. I buy everybody in here a Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce. Top of the line car. Whatever type of car you want. Top of the line. It just got to be top of the line. I ain't talking about something that come out of the factory. I'm talking about a car where individual people make each individual part. That's why people pay so much for Rolls Royce. Because a Rolls Royce, you got a person that worked on the seats. You got a person that worked on the engine. Even the fan belts. All the stuff is made in-house. And they put a group of people together to all work on this car. So I got high quality. I got people. I go talk to the person that built my engine. That built a piece in my engine. I go wherever they make them, and I can talk to this dude. I give you a car like that. What would happen if you went and you just start putting regular gas in it?
Gonna mix it all. Tear it up.
But hold on. It's gas though.
Ain't always good.
Right? But now, you have already one of the most complicated machines. We can't even find a word for the human body that's ever been created. We can't even figure out how it all works together. It's powered. We know where the source comes from. It feeds off the sun. It feeds off the air. It feeds off the water. Right? But yet we'll put artificial stuff in it. We'll put fake fuel in it. Right? And check this out, even deeper. We know we are what we eat. Or is that just a myth?
Metaphor.
Huh? So what if I'm eating all artificial stuff? What if my diet consists of all ramen noodles? Or Cheetos?
I love Cheetos.
Or Doritos?
I hate Doritos. Love Doritos. Hate Doritos.
What about Doritos? Now, since you're going to tell.
Mom.
But y'all understand what I'm saying, right? Y'all got these highly powered machines. Y'all got these machines that's even better than the Rolls Royce I described. Cost more than the Rolls Royce. You got it for free, but yet you putting substandard fuel in it. And I know y'all young be like, I can't control my diet, but in some ways you can. How about sugar?
Yes.
Y'all know about sugar?
Sugar's not that. Sugar's
Well,
not
it depends
that
on what
good
type
for
of sugar
you.
you get.
Yeah.
You get the
Brown
natural
sugar
from the
is good
sugar
for
cane.
Huh?
You'll be alright. You get the bleached white sugar.
Is sugar naturally white?
No.
How about flour?
Nope. Nope.
Y'all sure? How about rice?
Nope. Yeah. No.
That's
No,
a
they
lot.
diet.
That's a lot of
Wait a minute, time out. Has anybody ever noticed that you go to the store and the stuff that they add all this process to is cheaper than the stuff that they just pull straight off the plant? Yeah, nobody ever noticed that? That don't bother you? You go to the store to get some real sugar. You say, look, I want some blonde sugar. I want the brown sugar. You go buy the brown sugar and you get a whole pound of white sugar that they process for $1 and get a small box of the brown stuff for about $4.
They want to make it harder for you to get it.
Huh?
They want to make it harder for you to get it.
Why?
They keep it for themselves.
No. Why? Because it's more than enough for them.
So they
Why?
can use
He
it for their own
said,
race.
my question is, why do they want to make it harder for you to get the good stuff?
They don't want to run out because they need that to make the fake stuff to sell.
There's
So
plenty of
So
it.
you want to get in touch with your higher being. Like they don't
Why?
want everybody to.
They need more money.
They don't want everybody to get up there.
for
They're
a
going to have
little
competition and
bit
it's
of
going to be
what's-
over.
You said who?
They don't like competition. Like we start getting in touch with our higher being, eat natural foods. We're going to be like them and probably pass them and they don't want that.
They would kill us.
So check this out. He's talking about processed food. So there's a certain method. There's a certain way that they want you to think. There's a certain way they want your body to operate. And here we're going through a what? Process. Which is contrary to the process that we are already exposed to, right? Because the last chapter we read, it said something about fasting. Am I right? So what was the purpose of fasting? To cleanse for what?
Pureness.
For pureness. Because I'm cleansing for pureness to begin what?
A new cycle.
A new cycle? What else?
New energy.
What are we reading about today? A process for looking at a new process. Because apparently with the fasting, we needed to cleanse ourselves of something that was old, that was not working, that affected our mindset, so that we can begin and prepare ourselves for a new process that gets us back in touch with
Our inner being.
our inner being, our higher being.
So let's enter the matrix, as he say. Y'all remember when we talked about the matrix last week?
Yeah.
Let's enter the matrix. So who want to start? Go ahead.
Are you talking about moving?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now that we've taken our first steps into the matrix, let's look at the big picture. This is only a book because we collectively agree or are taught that it is. Those who bring about these agreements and teachings through words, education, religion, superstitions, food, music, time, and light. Create and control our reality. If we break down the word matrix, ma equals mother, or in this case, and tricks equals illusion. You can clearly see that we are being birthed into a
illusion.
It's not real. However, our perception makes it very real. The mind doesn't know what's real, and that makes it real. Not until perception enters the picture. When one is limited to the basic sensory of perception, which is see, touch, hear, smell, and taste. This makes it even that much harder to determine what is real and what is the matrix. The matrix has written certain programs designed to fool our perception into believing that it is real. In a nutshell, this is what that matrix is all about. However, we must tap into our sixth sense and beyond to crack open the nutshell to understand its inner working if we are to defeat it.
What you want to read next? Go ahead.
Words are power. When spoken, they vibrate. The stronger word is the heavier the vibration it carries. This is especially true if the words are spoken in one of the original languages. The old saying, sticks and stones may break in my bone, but names will never hurt me. I'm gonna skip that word. Words can.
There's a word he can't say. Go ahead.
Okay, gotcha. Even though you said it in class.
Words can crush or lift your spirits. Words can motivate, inspire, or enlighten you. For centuries, prophets have moved masses of people on with nothing more than the word.
Now we're on chapter 4.
What page are you on?
Page 10. Did you skip?
Yeah, I'll show you that.
Right here.
Page 10, what's the heaven for?
Monks have been known.
What?
Monks have been known to chant words like Om for years to raise their vibration. The word itself is composed of 4 elements. Earth, air, fire, water. The earth is...
Hold on just a second, please. If you find the page, it says education. It's on the left side of it.
The earth is represented by the tongue. Air is needed to form the pronounced words. Water is represented by the saliva in the mouth. And when combined with the movement of the tongue, you spit fire. In the Bible states, in the beginning was the Word. When these words resonate from the heart, they hit their targets in the heart, which becomes the measurement of the truth they contain. The matrix is designed programs to put out this fire and corrupt the word mainly through the use of the English language. English is fairly new language. It doesn't vibrate very high when its words is pronounced, as opposed the Herview language for instance, which language vibrates very high. This is not to say that the matrix doesn't operate within other languages. It has programs for any and all languages, but English has the lowest vibration and enables the matrix to receive maximum results from its efforts. To dumb down and control the masses, these same words with no power are used to describe and give life to our reality. Once we accept and download these words. We give them power to control our lives. The matrix then creates an artificial vibration to add designs to affect you.
To add to these words.
To add to these words. Some very high and some very low. Each word is designed to affect you in one way or another. For instance, words carry a negative vibration.
No, words
like racist, anti-Semitic, sound, slander, nigger, pedophile, and so on. All carry a negative vibration. Words like black, white, communist, democracy, Republican, Democratic, Bloods, and Crips all carry a divisive vibration. This is how the matrix uses the words to control. It is the complex system with many words having multiple meanings that make it difficult to master. Even if you master the English language, you still couldn't defeat the matrix. It's like trying to defeat your favorite video game. It knows every possible move that you can make before you even make it. However, understanding the English language and the power of words in general puts us in one step closer to victory.
All right. Questions, comments on what we read so far?
Yeah. So I have a question. What does it mean to dumb down something?
To lower, kind of lower down to something that's not.
Okay.
Like make them feel stupid.
Make them feel stupid.
To lower the vibration.
To lower the vibration. So if there's a dumb down, what does it mean to dumb up then?
Make them
feel smarter.
Could it be?
Maybe you get more used to being dumb.
Because I mean, this is what he's talking about. How the words have multiple meanings and understanding what the words mean. Somebody who can't hear, they call them what? They call them deaf. If they're not able to speak, they call them dumb. So to be able to dumb down, or those people who are in control of the matrix try to dumb down or not allow us to be able to speak because they're in control of the language. We don't understand the language. So if I'm being given these messages over and over again with this negative vibration, it actually silences my ability to even express those higher things that are going to help me to get in touch with who?
Your higher being.
My higher being.
Now,
World education.
thinking about that, speaking, in Genesis, when you read the first chapter, you have God said, God said, God said. The whole universe was created through what?
Speaking.
Through speaking, right? Through words, right? And in a sense, we create our own reality by doing what? Speaking, right? A lot of us speak the things that we want in our life, and a lot of us, even more of us, speak things that we don't want into our life. So, you know what I'm saying? When he's sitting up here talking about the use of words, be very, understand this, because y'all get this now. Y'all get this now. Y'all be able to create the life that you want. Because you put, matter of fact, I got a quote by Aristotle. It says, life is, hold on. I just had it. Give me a second. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Now, he's talking about action here. Right now, we just still on words. We become what we talk about. Right? My question is for y'all now, what was the last major conversation you had?
Stop doing something that we're supposed to do.
You say, that was yours? Thank you for your honesty. Last major conversation. Go ahead.
Was this morning about not letting him doing what's wrong affect me.
Okay. Last major conversation.
Not to settle.
Not to settle. Last major conversation. Because we speaking our reality into being. Right? I need y'all to understand that. Your mouth is your weapon. Like I told you, the weapon of a true warrior is his mind. Right? And we express what's on our mind by what?
Asking questions.
No, not. That's right on in one end. But we express what's on our mind by doing what?
Thinking.
By speaking. All right? So let's move to education. Who want to read about the education?
You do.
You already read it. Go ahead.
The word education derives from the Latin word educare, which means to draw out that which is in. That means whatever there is to know, you already know. It just has to be brought out of you in a certain way. In ancient times, the methods used to educate included music, storytelling, writing, pictures, dancing, and real-life situations that involve a lot of interaction between students and teachers. Soon, why is our education system today structured to force information into us as opposed to drawing it out of us? Because the Matrix doesn't want you to rely on what you know naturally. It wants you to rely on what you have been artificially inseminated with. It only wants you to access files. It only wants you to access files that have been downloaded into your brain, and you to access files. And not tap into the files that are encoded in your DNA.
Mrs., can you speak up when you're reading?
Thank you. It only wants. It only wants you to access files that have been downloaded into your brain and not tap into the files that are encoded in your DNA that would give you access to infinite knowledge. From preschool to high school, we are downloaded with a basic educational package of science, history, reading, and writing. Math is universal, but the way that it is taught to us stifles our ability to master it properly and use it to unlock the matrix. Albert Einstein said math is the key to the universe. If that's the case, then miseducating us when it comes to math is the matrix number one priority. From an early age, we are placed in overcrowded classrooms with dim fluorescent lightings and boring teachers as part of a dumbed-down process to manufacture robots. The hallways and lunchrooms are gloomy, and it's no coincidence that resemble prison cells and mess halls. If we follow the program set up by the Matrix successfully, that's exactly the course of destination for many of us. School is school to prison. We're flooded with information and then instructed to memorize it at a rapid pace. We are then tested to make sure we have accepted this information as truth. This is the basis of our education. The better your memory, the more you can excel under this system. However, that's exactly the plan. Have their matrix information seep down into the memory bank of your subconscious mind so that you begin to act on what you have downloaded. Once we finish the initial 12-step program, high school, we move on to more advanced levels of brainwash programming. So it's safe to say that going to school will only make you dumber. And the further you advance, the dumber you become, because it only shows how much you have accepted the program that the Matrix has set up to control you. You are then paid very well for following orders and kept the Matrix strong. It's important that we become free thinkers and go against the grain of the Matrix, because that's the only way we can short circuit the system.
Questions, comments? Wow, he just dogged something that all of y'all trapped in and nobody got nothing to say?
Right.
Well, Mom's probably gonna think something else about this.
That's all right. Go ahead.
What I heard was you come out knowing a lot of stuff already. It's already in your essence. But when you go to school, they teach you how to study, how to memorize. That's all they teach you is memory. So when people don't know how to remember, they have bad memory, they think they're dumb and keep dumbing them down. But if they was to do something with their hands, some people learn differently. And education makes you read, and then you got to learn it. If you don't, you're behind. You don't take tests, you're behind. And that dumps people down because they're behind. They stay behind because they don't think about how getting back up.
Question, did anybody remember what he said? What is the word that education come from?
Educare.
And it means? Go ahead.
To draw out that which is in.
To draw out that which is in. To draw out that which is in. So education is not essentially about putting nothing in you. Right? Mm-hmm. But when we go to what we call education system, we are constantly getting stuff poured into us, aren't we? Yeah. You don't find that strange? Now we just talked about the food. Now we talking about the mental food. We pouring stuff into you. Why? Huh? Learn what?
The matrix.
Learn the matrix so we could be what?
Used to it.
Be used to it, and then we be what?
Programmed
to be what? Robots. Which is another fancy way of saying slave. Like I told y'all last time, we recently didn't start giving in to this stuff until about 50 years ago. Even on the plantations, we was a lot freer than we are right now. A lot of people don't want to say that to you. Nobody want to say that to you. But the truth of the matter is, on the plantations, we was a lot freer than we are now. Because at least our minds were locked up. So now, because on the plantation, we'll have our own little farms, our own little gardens. We eat out our garden. Right? We teach our kids. We lived we had our own community, even though we had all types of hell going on around us. But now, we live in a lap of luxury. But we separated from each other. We move away from our families. We rarely talk to our families, right? We eat junk. Then we go to institutions that want us to learn. Now, in the method of learning that we got, the Gye-Nyame system, we call it 3 levels of learning. You got 3 levels of learning, and I always want y'all to remember this. 3 levels. First level is memorization. Everybody say memorization. Memorization is the basic level. You can teach a monkey how to memorize. Monkeys do it well. Parrots do it well. Just because a parrot say hello, it don't mean that the parrot know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just because a dog can count, you say, hit the floor 3 times, Sparky. Oh, that dog a genius. No, the dog, you can train the dog to respond. Memory is the lowest level of learning. Important, but the lowest level. So you have intelligence of the mind. Now this is where we're going to try to get y'all to go. We want y'all not only to be able to memorize, but we want y'all to be able to expand to a point where you are able to add your own stuff onto the stuff that you have memorized. What good is it to go to class and you just sit there and they speak at you and you can't formulate nothing of your own from that? That's why school's so boring. You go to school and you got to remember what they said and you can't add nothing to it. Right?
Make you fall asleep.
Oh man. Y'all be walking by me at my desk and I'm because I'm doing the same thing over and over again.
Just like at the reunion.
And y'all doing it, huh?
And at the reunion.
Well, anywhere. Anywhere I'm sitting still, doing repetitive things, I'm going to sleep. But the point is, education means to draw out. True education is where we pull the information out of you. That's why I try to get y'all to talk. That's why I say questions, comments. Because we could read all these books. There's a whole bunch of books we could read, but until you start getting beyond the memorization, the monkey phase, the slave phase, because slaves got to memorize. We good at that. Now I want to get you to the level of mind, education of the mind. Intelligence of the mind. Where you are able to expound on the information that you're given.
Because we're using what?
Our mind.
Our mind to produce. What do you speak? Words. Which create what?
Meaning.
Vibrations.
Vibration.
So if I'm just memorizing what's given to me, I'm not speaking the words that create the vibrations that's going to get me in touch with what? My higher being.
Last one is intelligence of the heart. In ancient Kemet, y'all heard about mummies, right?
Yeah.
Right? You know, they have the movie The Mummy and stuff. And you got these mummies that come alive and they walking around, right? That would be cool, right? But the issue with the mummy is that when they used to mummify the bodies, the first thing they used to take out was the brain. They go through the nose, they have a hook, and they pull the brain out through the nose. And this important part of the body, you know what they did with it?
I thought they took out the tongue.
This important part of the body, what they do with it? Go ahead.
They put it in a jar.
Huh? You say what? What they do with it? They freeze it? Well, I don't think they might have freezers back then, but I don't think they have freezers. What? They put it in a jar?
Throw it out.
They threw it away. They kept the kidneys. They kept the heart. They kept the liver. They kept all of it. They kept all of this. But this, they pulled it out your nose and discarded it. There was no jar for the brain. Because the highest form of intelligence of the heart. Once you start expounding on stuff, and you get beyond just memorizing, and it becomes your information. Like Brother Hajim taught y'all warriors, one who was experienced or involved in conflict. You take that and you make it yours. You freak it out.
Change it up a little bit.
Change it. You make it yours. As long as you stick to the truth, you make it yours. You're able to expound on it. You exercise the intelligence of the mind. When we get to intelligence of the heart, you don't talk about it. You can talk about it, but people will see it on you. That's mastery. Intelligence of the heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's in you now.
So
I can look at you
what is he
and
saying?
I see it on you.
When he says intelligence of the heart, what is he saying? Because I need to hear back from you all.
Mastery.
Like your soul, kind of.
Is
The spirit.
It's in your spirit. It's yours now, forever. In ancient times, they had a story where you had this master, and he had a student, and he was teaching them. I mean, they used it for all, whatever he was teaching them. Let's say a martial art. He taught this dude all for years. And finally the dude, it was time for the dude to leave. So the master gave him his final reward. So he walked up to him with a scroll. The dude, oh man, I'm about to get the scroll. I've been waiting my whole life to get this scroll. And he walks up to him and he hands him the scroll. Homeboy like, thank you, master. He bows and he leaves. Get home and he opens up the scroll. Guess what? It's blank. I spent all this time with this old man, this crazy old man. I spent all my time with him and he gives me an empty scroll. So he goes back, he's furious. And he goes to the master, he be like, Master, I've been with you over 20 years and your final gift to me is an empty damn scroll? Master says, yes. He says, why? You don't think I deserve the last bit of your wisdom? He says, yes, you do. He says, but now it's time for you to give the world your wisdom. It's not about what comes from me, what comes from him, what comes from her, what comes from her, or her, or her, or her, or him. It's about what comes from
you. Heart.
All right. So
where's your heart at, Cleve? It's inside of you, right? So it's coming from your heart.
All right. So we got a dilemma. So let's read one more. Let's read one more. We're gonna get up out of here. It's time for Capoeira. We're gonna read one more. Somebody read the next one. Go ahead. Huh? Go ahead.
Religion is a touchy subject for most, especially if you are operating out of one of the 3-step boxes that the Matrix has set up for you. Each religion has its own box, and its followers are confined to it. However, they're not confined to it by force. In fact, even if the box had an exit door, most of its followers would choose to remain inside rather than exit the box to see what exists on the other side of it. This is because the particular religion that has them confined, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or any other numerous religions that the people allow themselves to be boxed into, is all that they know and all that they wish to know. They were born, raised, and born again. Even for those who do not believe in God, the Matrix has found ways to turn being an atheist into a religion, thus creating a box for those followers as well. The Matrix is out of control. The Matrix is out to control your mind, body, and soul, and it has a box for each. The mind is held captive in the box of education, and the body is held captive in prison cells. Nevertheless, the most important box for them to control is the one that contains your soul. That's where religion comes in. Long after the mind and the body have decayed, the soul will remain. The soul is our direct line to God, the Creator, the Supreme Being, the One, even Lucifer, depending on which box you're operating from. When functioning properly, this line will enable one to truly know thyself. Religion has placed a splice in the line and redirected the cause. Why? What is it that the Matrix doesn't want you to know about the true link between you and God? Perhaps that you are God? So they use religion to keep the lines tied up and busy so that you can't complete the one connection that could free you forever. Religion as it is used today is nothing more than a tool to keep the masses subservient by capturing the highest essence of oneself in a box that is hard for most to escape. Religion is also big business. So while they're holding your soul captive in a box, they're also draining your pockets, the nerve of the matrix. However, some forms of religion can be beneficial if understood properly. There are two basic forms of religion that I'll focus on: exoteric and esoteric. The exoteric religion is what is given to the masses. It keeps them from searching for God on the outside of themselves. In fact, the very word exoteric means outer. As long as the masses are looking outside of themselves for answers, it allows the matrix to control them. Esoteric means inner. Those who study esoteric religion know and understand that the power of God lies within them. That's where the true power of God can be attained. Christianity is the esoteric. Genotism, is the Gnostic scriptures would be the esoteric. Judaism is the exoteric, and the Kabbalah or tree of life would be considered as the esoteric. Islam is the exoteric, and Sufism will be considered as an esoteric science. Your preacher, imam, or rabbi may teach you the exoteric science of religion, but he himself studies the esoteric science. This is how he is able to maintain power and control over you. Even though those who study esoteric religion also operate out of a box, the difference is the box has depth. The deeper one travels within the box, he'll see that the boxes are all connected at one point or another, as opposed to exoteric religion, which keeps each box divided. Our goal is to conquer each box until there are no boxes left to conquer. It is only then that we can unleash the God within ourselves to bring the matrix to its knees.
All right. Questions, comments? Because that's a rough one.
Religion keeps you bounded.
Anything else? Anybody else? Disagree? Agree? Questions?
So,
go ahead.
So, since I've been sitting here, there were like 3 major life systems that were talked about. And just to see if they can remember which were the 3.
Questions? Question on the floor. 3 major,
I would say life systems, but are contributors to us getting away from knowing our higher self. Is what we're doing.
Anybody remember the 3 major things? Go ahead.
Religion, education, and food superstition.
Okay.
I don't know.
Home run! Anybody else? No other comments? I mean, he just got that. He just dropped. He dropped jewels on y'all right there. Go ahead.
Like say a Christian, right? You go up to them and try to tell them something that's not real in the Bible. They will battle you until they can't no more because they got used to knowing what's in the Bible or used to knowing and memorizing what's in it. So when you try to tell them what's outside the box, they try to stay in the box. They try to get you in it too. So that's how that's why they're confined in exoteric. And then they don't look in themselves and say, I can be a God. What if I'm a God and I can do something to change?
Did you?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did that.
What'd you say?
You can be a God.
What?
He's a God.
Who?
Yourself.
What?
Say it.
I could be a God?
Yes.
What? No.
Make me into a frog.
Yeah. You think of yourself as one, you can be one. Like your mind controls a lot. So if you think yourself as a God, you can get that high in esoteric. Like you said, you could find boxes and connect to that box, and you can keep getting higher and higher as you go.
Why do you think people hide in these boxes that he talking about this in the Matrix? Because some people want to stay. Y'all remember y'all seen the movie The Matrix, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Do y'all remember that some people wanted to stay in the Matrix? As a matter of fact, somebody was trying to make a deal to get back into the Matrix. Why would somebody want to stay in the Matrix? If you know there's illusion, if you know that it's not real, if you know that it's destroying you, why stay in it?
Easier word.
Huh?
Cognitive dissonance. It's a lot
cognitive dissonance. It's a lot easier to walk around with your eyes closed. Ignorance is bliss is what I've heard it been called. But when you open up your eyes, you can't suffer on that level no more. Because when you are visual and you know the truth, you can't go back. There's no going back.
But what if I want to go forward? Because I mean,
scared. Scared.
Most people. I mean, that gets to it. Fear is what keeps people in the box. I don't go outside of what I believe about myself or about the world because of fear. In certain movies, they call it the mind killer. I mean, you watch these movies, they be dropping it on us, and it be flying. They call it the mind killer. In African Openness to Tree of Life, they say fear kills consciousness. Fear. That is the number one opponent that each and every last one of us is going to have to fight, no matter what direction we go. Fear. It keeps you in a box because it's comfortable, right? I know it. I don't have to stress. I don't have to move past it. Go ahead.
In mind, Angelo said, our deepest fear down there, that it's not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, frightens us.
Nelson Mandela probably was quoting somebody. But the point is, our deepest fear. Fear. Dude, I mean, it's like fear is our number one piece. Because think about it. What hell?
What's fear?
Huh?
What's fear?
What's fear?
False evidence appearing real.
False evidence appearing real. What else? Fear. What's fear?
When you're uncomfortable with doing something.
Uncomfortable. Uncomfortableness. Uncomfortable with doing something. Fear.
When you're scared.
When you're scared. Fear.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. Fear. What is it?
Right.
Frightened.
The enemy.
Huh?
The enemy.
Go ahead.
Being too scared to move forward in your life.
Too scared to move forward in your life.
Outside your boundaries.
Outside your boundaries.
Not to challenge yourself.
Not to challenge yourself.
Leaving your
You said leaving your comfort zone.
Leaving your box.
Staying in your box. Fear. Dude, listen. If y'all master that now, pushing yourself outside the boundaries, because let me tell you this. There's not one person that is successful that stayed in their box.
Could you say that one more time, please?
There's nobody that is successful that stayed in their box, that stayed in their comfort zone. It's called a comfort zone for a reason, because everybody can do it. And if everybody can do it, then it must be something wrong with it. If everybody can do it, why are you wasting your time? We need y'all to push up above and beyond, because we moving into a crucial historical period for our people, man. Claude Anderson said over 10 years ago, and he said within that 10 years, he said if black folks don't turn it around in the next 3 years, we will be a permanent underclass. Anybody understand what that means?
How long ago was this?
A permanent underclass.
It's
like the
high
lowest.
school when you're underclassmen, ninth graders.
What does it mean to be underclass?
Like you got the middle class, the high class, and low class. It said we're gonna be the lower part of people.
Right. You said you got the high class, middle class, low class. Now, up under the low class, we don't talk about it. Up under the low class, you got the underclass. So the underclass is the group of people that look up at the lower class's feet.
The people under is the people in the box.
You could be in the box, yeah. But he's saying, as a group, it's going to be harder for us in your lifetime to. If y'all think I'm lying, ask some of those up there. My generation, and those close to my generation, we will be the first generation that did worse than our parents. Did y'all hear what I said? We will be the first generation to do worse than our parents. financially, happiness-wise, family-wise, we are doing less than our parents right now. Less than, some of us, less than our grandparents. So my question is, if I could see and I could prove to you and I could show you right now that there's a downward spiral going on with our people, what does that mean for you? Nobody?
To get out the spiral.
You got to get out that spiral.
It's harder.
But to get out that spiral, you got to get out your comfort zone. Me chilling in class is me being in my comfort zone.
Yeah, in the hallway to the bathroom.
Huh?
So you gotta get out to the hallway to the bathroom.
I don't get it.
I'm saying, if your comfort zone is at your classroom, so you have to go to the bathroom.
You get out the classroom.
Oh, you got to get out the classroom. Okay. All right. How else can you get out the classroom besides leaving it?
Not paying attention.
Okay, you get all right. You cannot pay attention. All right, we see what we're gonna see what that's gonna get you because it's like this. Listen,
back in the class next year, right?
Right, you gonna be right back in the class. This is my piece. I walked there on Ohio State campus, and I looked around, and they had what they called the main library, and I walked into the main library. And it was like 16 floors of books. Let's see. Oh, shit. Excuse my language. And I just started exploring. Right? I had other friends who spent 4 years at Ohio State and never went to the library. I had people in high school with me who sat in class and never asked a question. See, school don't have to be boring. We can make it more engaging. Y'all got to do it because they done put it in the laws. Because if you don't go to school in some form or fashion, somebody in your family going to jail.
That's real.
So my question is, since you got to be somewhere 8 hours a day, why not get something out of it? Right? You know what I'm saying? So, all right, we're going to stop right there.
But let me chime in real quick. Because this is something I want you to think about, too. How dangerous is it for you not to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on and paying attention to what's going on around you?
Very dangerous. You'll never know what's going on.
Where do you practice paying attention at?
And at home.
School and at home. Walking down the street. So if I'm at school, since I have to be there, and I'm not engaged or I'm not paying attention or aware of what's going on, what am I practicing? What skill am I practicing to take out into the world when I'm amongst my people? Being unaware. Just think about that.
We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. I think I read that earlier, right? Yeah. All right. Too late, too strong. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to break this part off. We're going to send y'all down for the capoeira. Remember, take it serious because y'all going to be getting a hold of soon. I'm trying to tell you, I'm out of shape, but I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to pick your game apart. If you ain't getting your basics, I'm going to get you. Alright, and if I can't get you, one of my brothers going to come down here, they're going to get you. Alright? So y'all going over there, listen to the man because he volunteered his time.
Give up a bag off me. Sit right here, buddy.